Most players think Crimson Desert combat is slow, clunky, and unfair, especially during the boss fights. You get hit once and stuck in a consequent combo by the boss, but that's only because you're playing it wrong. This game actually gives you way more control than you think, and once you understand the system, the combat feels completely different. In this video, I'm gonna break down the full combat system, the fundamentals, and teach you how to actually do this.
Even after your defeat, drink you get to meddle in our garage. Drink. I'll grant you that much.
This video was also inspired by a billibilli video, so I'll link it in the description. This is a long, in-depth guide, so feel free to skip using the timestamps. In this video, I'll only talk about several core skills in cleave, sword and shield, and two-handed sword, or else the video will be too long and there's much left to explore the entire skill tree of each character. I'll guide you through the fundamentals as they apply through everything, and you shouldn't have any problem figuring out the rest for yourself. For context, I'm a long-time video player with over 17k hours, mainly playing PvE with Succession Witch. I've also tested other wife classes extensively. A lot of the combat concepts here, like the CC chaining, protections, and animation cancels are very similar to BDO. Most players only use this combat system at the surface level. That's why a lot of people feel like the bosses can just combo them endlessly with no counterplay. But that is not true. You're not limited by the game, but your understanding of the combat system. The problem is, the game doesn't do a good job of teaching you any of this. At first glance, this looks like a Souls-like game. You dodge attacks, wait for it opening, and hit once or twice, and then back off. But that's only the surface layer. Underneath that, the system actually works more like a fighting game. Your main goal is to stay protected from enemies' attack, crowd control or CC the enemy, chain your skills, and maximize the damage while the enemies are CC'd. In BDO PvP, we constantly rotate protected skill like frontal guard, super armor, and iframe while looking for gaps in the enemy's combo. When we catch them with the CC, we extend that window and deal as much damage as possible. Crimson Desert works in a very similar way, but it's versus boss and mobs. The biggest difference between BDO and Crimson Desert is the movement is slower in this game, the animations are heavier with inertia, and you have more direct interaction with the enemies. Looking at the skill tree, we have 3 main nodes. These will increase our base stats of the character, but will not increase the damage, the stamina, the spirits, and the health node. The rest of the skills in the skill trees also do not increase our damage, but they expand our combat options. Let's start with defensive abilities. We have several of them. The first one is rolling. This is just a normal roll like pressing the evade key once. It creates distance, but there's no iframe, and the animation is quite long. The recovery frame is also long. The second one is side steps. You can do this by double pressing the evade button, and the character will do a side steps. This has iframe and has a slightly shorter movement, and is best for close combat dodging and cancels. We want to use side step more during close combat to evade attacks because of its iframe properties. Another important one is called evasive roll. This will consume spirits when used. We use this to break out of the stun animation and recover some stamina. Parry is straightforward. We hit the parry key during the mid-swing animations of enemy attack and we'll parry them. Every weapon will have a different parry timing, and we cannot parry the boss red flash attacks. And we have the focus in sight. This is to parry during the focus skill. In the slow motion state of focus, the parry window is much easier to react and trigger. Another ability is running away, the most stamina efficient option and often overlooked. We shouldn't only rely on just one of these abilities. A good player will combine all of these and use them depending on the situation. Just like video, our skills in Crimson Desert have protections. We have Frontal Guard, Iframe, and Super Armor. Frontal Guard will block damage from the front, but you will still receive damage from your back. Iframe will avoid all the damage, and Super Armor prevents stagger but will still take damage. The first one, also the most important one, is Turning Slash. This is one of the strongest skills in your kit. We have iframe during most of the animation and can avoid most boss red flash damage, except grappling. These skills can also stun boss. By default, it has very long end animation, but you can cancel it out with directional side steps. You can even loop it repeatedly using directional side steps. One tip of using this skill is that we can use this skill as an end of the combo when the enemy's attack are about to hit us, to use the iframe of the skills to avoid damage. Another key skill is Force Pump, which we use mainly for CC. It's very strong against bosses, especially humanoid bosses. We'll use these skills often to stun bosses during the red flash skills the bosses use. It has very long animation by default. With upgrade, we can do up to 3 force pump continuously. We can cancel the first cast and shorten the animation by doing directional side steps or most skills in and out of the force pump. Most of the time, we only use the first one because the second and the third force pump continuously will have a long animation and cannot be cancelled easily. Spinning Slash has a forward guard at the start of the animation, cannot block red flash attacks or grappling. Very good skill to fit into combo and can spam to get easy frontal guard. I use this skill quite often in my combo. Stab. Do a forward stab has frontal guard when charged, but the character cannot move during charging animation. We can spam instant charge version of this by doing directional side step into stab. Or there's another version that we can do, which is directional jump plus double tap stab. Doing double jump to a certain height and holding down stab will slow the times down and allow aiming direction to thrust forward, useful in combat and exploration. I found the stab skill to be more useful as a gap closer. Evasive Slash. Very fast, okay damage with built-in evasion. On some weapon, we can spam this. Otherwise, the end animation can be fast cancelled with directional side steps or a bit slower with other skills. I haven't tried this yet, but we might be able to launch some balls into the mid-air using these skills. Forward Slash can spam by holding the heavy attack button. It has no protection but has very fast animation. Also, we can combo different skill in between the slashes. Then we have the Blinding Flash and the Finisher. This is very good for gap closing and do multiple hits in slow motion. Sometimes we can even use this to blind stun some bosses. The core idea is simple. Use one skill to cancel the previous skill's ending animation while maintaining protection and CC. Attack speed stats will affect how fast the skill animation came out and can be cancelled, and how fast you can dish out the damage. The timing here matters a lot. If you are too slow, the combo drops. If you are pressing too fast, the next skill might not be triggered. So I generally recommend to pre-input the next skill when the character is in the middle of casting animation of the current skill, which will work on most skills. When fighting bosses while evading attacks and learning the patterns, you do not want to just react but actively find a chance to land your CC. That is when we stop being passive and start controlling the battle. A gap can be a boss normal attack. Boss stop attacking for a moment, boss attack overshoots, or even during the moment where the bosses are charging up for red attacks. This is when your combo comes in. You can use a skill with protection to land a hit and followed by a CC, and continue chaining combos and CC in between to keep the boss on the ground. This is my favorite and most used combo. You see me doing this combo in all of the footage. I spam this everywhere, which we start with spinning slash into turning slash and then side step into turning slash into side step and repeat the loop. We start with spinning slash because it is very fast and its frontal guard will protect you from most bosses' normal attack. Then into turning slash to CC the enemy while in iframe. After it hits, we're gonna cancel with directional side steps for iframe and repositioning. And then again into turning slash, cancel with directional side step. We can loop this combo depending on the stamina, spirit, and situation. You can also extend the combo by inserting force pump to extend the CC duration, especially during the boss red attacks where you can stun the boss. You can also do this, or this. As you can see, the combat in this game is very flexible. You use what skills you need according to their protection and CC they provided, and chain combo in a way that it cancels start and animations. Of course, there are limitations. Bosses have CC limits. You cannot indefinitely stun chain them. Our ability to chain combo and the duration is limited by our stamina and spirit. Here are the biggest mistakes players tend to make. Playing it like a pure Souls game and not utilizing the skills and their protection and CC. Not using side steps to cancel skill animation. That tends to leave us animation locked and vulnerable. Overusing force pump in wrong situation. This will waste a lot of spirits. Ignoring stamina and spirits during a combo, which tends to leave us vulnerable because we cannot do anything without them. Fix these and your gameplay will improve instantly. Once you understand these fundamentals, the combat completely changes, so you stop reacting and start controlling the fight. And that's when the games become really fun. I'm interested in making more videos and guides like this in the future, especially when I unlock more weapons and character. Also finding out the skills, protection, and developing a combo. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you find this video helpful. It helps me tremendously. Thank you.